Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of CampusCare EdTalks. I, Sakshi Jain, the host of the day, would like to welcome you all. EdTalk is a platform where educators and leaders come on board and express their viewpoints related to education and society. Our topic for the discussion is how to introduce sensitive topics to students to express their viewpoints. On the same, we have Mrs. Shilpa Mahajan, Principal of Shubh International School, Akhnoor, Jammu. A very warm welcome to you, ma'am. We are so good to have you here, and thank you so much for taking out your precious time for us.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving me a wonderful opportunity to speak in front of you and the great platform and tab that really works from the last. What I observed that it is working from the last 3 years, especially on the education sector. And during the COVID, it makes all the education busy through their different conclaves, edu conclaves, and webinars also. I'm really thankful to you, Harshdeep, that you have done a great job. You people entire has done a great job entirely in the education sector to boost for the further protective resources, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for such humble words from your end. Ma'am, to start off with the session, we would like to, ask the first question is there a right age to talk about certain issues and how to identify them?
Ma'am, as far as my self is concerning, ma'am, there is no specific age to introduce the sensitive topics. As you know, today is the generation, right from the birth of a child, they seen the mobiles and they are getting busy and getting active also. Whenever they have seen the screen, they stop crying. They used to demand further screens. Ma'am, when the child getting age of 2 years, they used to watch different videos on YouTube and the Facebook and others. That means there is no specific age to be introduced these sensitive uh, topics at the particular age, ma'am. But the main concern is how we are educated them to be to use sensitive issues in their life to develop their further growth, ma'am.
Absolutely, ma'am. So what I feel is basically, there's no age. It's just like how you grow people, groom people, and how you grow your, kids around, and where it just there's no certain age that you can start this process. It's like from the initial days itself. So, ma'am, what do you think?
Exactly.
What are the do's and don'ts of introduction of a sensitive topic to any student?
Ma'am, actually, as my concern is there, we should be very, very clear as possible about the objectives of the lessons ahead of time. Whatever the topics we are discussing with a child, whether it related to drug addiction or whether any other sensitive, we should be very, very clear. Child should have to know the objectives behind the discussion, why we are discussing such topics regarding such topic and refrains questions. And then we have to step in and mediate. If students become disrespect to another child, we should have to make the role of mediator also at that time when we are discussing such topics in front of different childs also. Because as you know, the childs are as in today's generation, there is a problem of patience among the children. And when we are sitting among them and discussing such specific topic, we should have to play the role of a good mediator also, so that we can discuss in a very positive and in an open-minded way. And ma'am, when we are reframing open-minded questions with them, there is a role of a positive moderator also. When if we are discussing any topic, and if you are playing the role of a positive moderator, ma'am, definitely I will share the feeling with you. When you are playing the role of dictator type, no, I can never share my feeling and my agenda regarding this topic with you.
Absolutely, ma'am. So where I can understand it, you have to be a good listener, and then that's how you communicate. So because whenever you're raising any sensitive topic, whenever you're coming up with something which is out of the box and something which is considered as a taboo or something, there you have to understand, and you have to, it's a two-way communication basically. So if you
Exactly.
want to express yourself, and if you want to tell something, and if you really want to touch a topic which is never ever talked about, or has certain restrictions to it, like we call it sensitive, so there has to be a place, an open ground wherein you can communicate, as well as you're listening to someone who's trying to tell you certain things. Because obviously if you don't give them a place and a space to open themselves up, you hardly talking to somebody who's barely even listening to you or understanding. Similarly is the person who's communicating. So I really feel it's a two-way communication, wherein you have to be a very good listener in order to understand, and also come across with certain consensuals to certain topics, which is very important these days. So to come up
Exactly.
with another question, ma'am, how much is too much when it comes to sharing information regarding such topics?
Sorry, can you repeat the question, ma'am?
Absolutely, ma'am. So it is like, how much is too much when it comes to sharing information on these topics?
Ma'am, actually, as far as a child mindset is concerning, see, at present scenario, they got very positive with a negative mindset because less information is more harmful to today's generation. If they are getting less informative, that will create a major havoc in their further life. That means whatever in their whatever they have to use further for their life skills, we have to introduce as per as what their demand. For example, if the child is of the age of 4 years and he has no knowledge regarding the drinking, but he has seen someone is drinking, maybe in their family or in their function, we only have to say, beta, this is not a good thing. This is not a sign of, it does not create any good benefit in our health. And when that child is of 10 years of age, we have to say words like, beta, if we have to grow in the life, we have to remain aloof from such thing if we have to do something. So different perspectives has been according to the different age and according to the different mindset of the child, ma'am. Whenever anything has to be happened, they have to practically shown to the child. If the things has to practically shown, they will definitely affect on the mindset of a children. And I'm audible, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, give me 1 minute. I make my laptop on the aeroplane mode, actually different charges, different calls has been coming on, ma'am.
No worries. So we were talking about how much is too much information. So what I believe is, I should understand. So since there's a lot of exposure in the society, there's a lot of mediums which are easily accessible to all sort of age groups. We have to understand and first, analyze the fact ki, how much information does that person already has. How much information does that he already possess, and what sort of, his viewpoints, or what is his reaction, his or her reaction to that particular event, or to that particular topic, or to that particular thing. So what I feel is, we should have that area wherein first we understand that what exactly and how much does that person already know, and accordingly we can decide how much is too much. Because maybe, like ma'am said, maybe something for a 4 year, if we the same topic that we're talking to a 4 year and a 10 year will have certain sort of differences based on the understanding, based on the obviously the surroundings that you have, and based on the experiences that you share around yourself. So there has to be a maybe an age gap, maybe the thought process, or maybe the perspective of how somebody is coming in, and what exactly they are sharing, in order to understand whether how much is too much. Am I right, ma'am?
Of course, ma'am. I really agree with you, whatever the perspective is.
Absolutely, ma'am. So moving on to another question, ma'am. How to make sure the discussion is comfortable for everybody in the class?
Ma'am, I have told such thing in the earlier of the session also. We should be very open-minded, and the topic we have to refrain questions according to the interest of a child, ma'am. And after that we have to step in and play the role of a mediator also. And we at every step we have to guide also, and we have to share the feelings, and even uh, open mindedness should be all the time, so that children come forward and share their feelings regarding the concept and of their peers also. And when clarity is very, very possible at that time about the objectives of the lesson ahead of the time also. There should be a clarity. Whatever the topic has been discussed, there should be complete clarity on such topic eh, ahead of the time.
Absolutely, ma'am. So what I feel is, ma'am, there are times, when we talk about classroom has, minimum of 40 to 45 students or 30 to 50 students is a ratio wherein, you have a class strength. So what I feel is, ma'am, whenever we are talking on such topics, whenever we are raising such sensitive topics, what we can, initially start off, or where we can, give, the comfortable space to students is, we have to understand that what, how, and which way they are conceiving it, which way they've already perceived it. So maybe that way it will be better, and it will be a, a common place wherein everybody will be on the common understanding of, okay, how we are going forward for any particular topic. So what I feel is, sensitive topics has to be, has some sort of seriousness attached to it, so that, whenever we are delivering a message, people should not be misguided. And, there, because it's very critical to, bifurcate between the fact that, there's a seriousness to certain things that we're talking about, which could, lead to some sort of mischief as well. So, and students, being students, are, tentative to be doing that. So that's how we give them the liberty. So what I feel is, whenever we are talking about such topics, there has to be a place wherein students will get the first chance in order to understand how are we. And that's how we can, you as a teacher can play the role of a mediator, wherein you are imparting knowledge just to enhance their thought process, just to give them a new angle, just to give them a new perspective of how can things, go, and wherein you can, take it forward into a positive note. Ma'am, so just a final question that I would like to ask you is, what sort of sensitive topics, if we talk about sensitive topics or sensitive things that we discuss in school, could you just quote some examples of sensitive topics that we are talking about or we should talk about?
Ma'am, there are a lot of sensitive issues and the topics regarding to the child mindset and of their age and of the environment also. Ma'am, frankly speaking, uh, in sensitive issue, sex education come first of all,
Absolutely.
and that is a topic where we are moving, and we have to make aloof and make distance always, right? From our age also, when we are in the school, and when we come into 10th standard, biology subject was there. We were very curiosity in a very curious way, studying topics related to our human body. I'm
Absolutely.
right or wrong?
Absolutely.
And at that time, teachers also make the distance from such topics and from such lessons also, and we used to make grasp or copying such topics and doing in the class, but no thoroughly knowledge was given to us at that time too. And still, ma'am, same thing is implemented at the present scenario also. We still moving ourselves and making distance from such sensitive issues like the sex education. After that, the drug addiction. After that, using of weapons, whatever the today topic is. And after that, human body also. That is also a sensitive issue, and because when the child is eagerly want to learn about the human nature, human body, parents also do not come forward for such, because the first teacher of a child is the parent. After the teachers comes, and whatever the child is learning in their life, the major role is of the home, and parents always make the distance from that. Then child goes to their siblings, their peers, and their friends for such learning. And as same thing we have discussed earlier, less information. He used to get less informative, less knowledge, and then less awareness also. And meager and less knowledge is always harmful for the human growth. And ma'am, sensitive issue, we have to come with education. No doubt education policies are is making, lots of plans are going on, but still sensitive issues are making the graph low. And now it's the time that we have to raise our questions, raise our awareness regarding the sensitive issues, because the more you normalize the integration and discussion of potentially sensitive issues topic with the compassion and the respect, the more your students will be the rest to the occasion. the uh, the more we normalize the integration and the discussion of potentially sensitive topics with the compassion and respect, ma'am, the more our students will be giving the rest to the occasion. That's really a demand of today's scenario, because kahin na kahin these things related to their life also. We used to be very, very negative, very, very positive with the negative scenario of our surrounding. When the child is going for the hangout with their friends, definitely, ma'am, sensitive issues arises at that time. But and that situation, if the child is less knowledge regarding the sensitive topics and the sensitive issues and the less informative, no doubt he will prone to be the more sensitive regarding sensitive. At that time, nobody is there to help them. Nobody is there to help him or guide him at that time. So, at when from the very early age, we have to be very, very informative and to create the environment so that child come forward and discuss such things with their parents, with their teachers, with their mentors also. So in further, they will never have to be mishappen. Any mishappening can be happen to them. That's all.
Absolutely, ma'am. So, what we can, give a brief to this entire thing is, everything should, grow up with age. Not just restricted to a certain age that comes in and then we talk about certain topics and then how we sensitize it. It's just like a gradual shift to the understanding of everything that comes along. Be it any discussion with your parents, your teachers, your peer groups, or anybody around you. So, what I feel is since we have been into this modern era where we have everything with just a click away, it's very harmful for us to have half information. Half information,
Exactly.
or like just ma'am quoted, less information or meager information is very, very dangerous for us.
Very harmful,
So
very dangerous.
you should have either a complete knowledge about it, or you should have a complete just, and you should have a proper discussion. So what I feel is, there are cases and scenarios wherein you have discussions only when you are at a certain age and in certain standards in your school. That's how you're able to raise your voice and be vocal about certain topics. But what I feel is it is now the time that the parents also from their grooming age, and the school as well, has to come up with these initiatives wherein they are talking about no matter what is being discussed. So whatever movies that we see, whatever serials that we see, or whatever information, uh, you know information that we are sharing and discussing and looking at, has to be in a way wherein you can equally and openly discuss about it, and that's how you will have an open mind and an open discussion to any topic that we have. So
Exactly.
with this note, we would I hope this is an insightful session, and ma'am, thank you so very much for joining us and sharing your experiences on how sensitive these topics could be, and how information not being shared completely could be very dangerous and leads to another one on another circumstances in life which we may regret and think that we must have done something in past in order to reduce or refute those situations. So thank you, Shalpa ma'am. It was really insightful and very nice session and having a discussion with you over such things. Looking forward to more, ma'am. So for this session, I will be signing off. with a great thought that, everything is, if taken a step back, and if we decide to move it in a positive direction, everything has a solution to it. Thank you so
Definitely.
very much. Signing off for the
Thank
evening.
you. Thank you to you, ma'am. In the last, I would have to say that the discussion with a person like you definitely, I was preparing for this topic from the last day when you have told me, na.
Right.
But ma'am, when we come to, on the discussion on the one-to-one point, ma'am, everything has come to our mind, not from whatever we are copying or what we have studying or what we have reading regarding this topic. I'm really thankful to you who has given me opportunity to speak on this topic in front of everyone. And hats off again to the Entab, who is really working a lot and who is really doing marvelous job in the education field to enhance the growth and the standard of education level in our country. Really thankful to you, ma'am. Thank you so much for giving me wonderful opportunity. I hope I will again be coming and discussing a lots of things with you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, ma'am. Sheer pressure, sheer pleasure for us. And we will be looking forward to more sessions with you. So I'll sign off. Do subscribe our channel and hit the bell icon for more notifications.